Super Mario Galaxy is one of the greatest Wii games of all time, and I don't give it that title lightly. This game means a lot to me. It was one of the first games I ever owned, and I loved it to death. But the real question is, why do I love it to death? Well, let's figure that out today and get this over with. We all have our favorite gaming memories. Some of us remember sitting by a Christmas tree, opening gifts, some at birthdays, and some of us just got lucky on a random day in March. Yet somehow, the 7th still remains to be my least favorite day. There's no denying that if you got Mario Galaxy as a kid, you were ecstatic. This game was the first of its kind and defined a generation and gamers forever. Released for the Nintendo Wii on November 1st, 2007 over in Japan and November 12th, 2007 over here in North America, Super Mario Galaxy was put in such high regard for everyone that had or hadn't played it, and for good reason. I mean, think about it. Super Mario Sunshine was released in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube, and although the game was good, it was definitely lacking in a few key ways. That needed to change if Nintendo wanted to succeed with their next big Mario game, and succeed they did, only an eternity later. Either way, my concept of time has been dissipated ever since the war. I can't unsee that day. Anyways, Mario's on the Wii, guys! Formerly unveiled at Nintendo Space World 2000, a tech demo named Super Mario 128 was revealed, showing, well, 128 Marios. Well, with a title like that, what else did you expect? For years, Nintendo made it sound like Mario 128 would be turned into a full game, even though it looked like that. Obviously, this wasn't the case, but instead elements of this demo were used in other games like Pikmin, Twilight Princess, and of course, Super Mario Galaxy. As much as I'd like to see somebody speedrun whatever this is 128 on Twitch, I don't think we're ever gonna get to that. Starting up the game, Super Mario Galaxy! Who would have guessed this would have been the title? This title screen is great because it tells you everything you really need to know. Where's the Adderall? Maybe not everything, but you get the idea. Hopping on into the game, we get a whole lot of things that we can start off with, which really makes me think, where do we start? Yeah, that could be a bit of a tricky topic, so we're just gonna sit here and wait for something to happen.
Hello!
Ah, it's an Australian! No, it's just the overly talented jazz singer and piano player Jordan Asmussen. What am I doing with my hands?
Well, I won't reject the title.
My pleasure. Anyways, what can I do for you?
The real question is, what can I do for you? You see, I've just sent to your house a CD with the Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack on it.
Well, thank you very much. I'll have to give it a listen. How do you know where I live?
My work on Earth is finished.
Does that happen for every Australian? Only the singing ones. Huh. When you jump into the game, one of the first things you'll notice, other than color, is the most beautiful music you will ever hear in your life. Composed by the renowned, legendary, and respected Mahito Yokota, Super Mario Galaxy was one of the first fully orchestrated games in the Mario franchise. Yokota would later go on to compose soundtracks for Wii Music, Ew, Super Mario 3D Land, Ew, New Super Mario Bros. U, Ew, and Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Ooh! Every note you hear, at least for me, fills my heart with peace and happiness. It truly can take you from a feeling of, oh, this is refreshing, to, holy crap, Bowser just ate Luigi! That was something else I really enjoyed. No, not Bowser eating Luigi, but that would give Nintendo some unique fan appeal. No, what I meant were the slight motifs in a few of the songs, although I can't give you an exact example since I can't really play the songs for too long because Nintendo hates me. You get what I mean. Okay, now that we've got all the music out of the way, we can finally start the game. Every 100 years, a comet appears in the sky above the Mushroom Kingdom. Tell me more, Grandpa. I really like this opening to Galaxy. It makes the game seem more original, especially when compared to 64 and Sunshine, where they just throw you in there head first. Which, let's be fair, not everybody wants that. We later learn that there's something called the Grand Star, a power star that would bring Toad's joy? I don't know, man. I'm tired. Princess Peach invites us over to the castle for some cake. Well, let's get into it. That strawberry shortcake ain't gonna eat itself now, ain't it? As Mario gets closer, Bowser's airship arrives, destroying everything in its path. When I was a kid, this terrified me. I mean, how else are you supposed to feel when the Mushroom Kingdom, one of the most iconic video game spots in history, gets destroyed and blown up? Well, not like that! Thus, Mario does the only thing he can in this situation. Fail. Freaking idiot. Actually, playing the game, it's not bad. You move Mario around with a thumbstick on the nunchuck, as you do, and it's honestly not the worst experience. Well, what else was I expecting? You don't open a jar of peanut butter and automatically have your taxes done. Oh, what's this? Take that, H&R. There's two defining aspects of the game, one being the spin attack. By shaking your Wii Remote back and forth, Mario spins in a circle and attacks enemies nearby. It's very useful for certain scenarios, and by pointing the Wii Remote at the screen and holding an enemy, you can keep them in place as you attack them. It's cool because it also works in real life. Now hold still. Originally, this game was being developed for the GameCube, and to do your spin attack, you'd spin the thumbstick around in a circle, which is honestly a genius idea given the limitations of the masterpiece known as the GameCube controller. Later iterations of the game, i.e. Super Mario 3D All-Stars for the Nintendo Switch, just had you press the Y button, and although easier, every time I press the button, I feel let down like I've contracted a rare disease. I had pancreatitis. The other defining aspect of this game would be the sphere walking, or traversing planets, if you will. This is what makes Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy. Never before had we seen something else like this. It truly made the game its own, and I love it unconditionally. Unlike my parents. Getting back into the story, something that you'll see a lot, we are then introduced to Rosalina, the Watcher of the Stars. She essentially makes sure that nothing goes wrong in this universe and is apparently Luigi's daughter. Thanks, MatPat. Mario, back up! Rosalina's story begins with her meeting a young Luma in an old rusty spaceship. Together they rebuild it to search for Luma's mother, traveling through space and encountering a bunch of weird space things, as you do. Along the way, Rosalina gets homesick and reflects on her own mother's passing. With the help of the Lumas and a bit of Jack Daniels, Rosalina learns to cope with her loss. Are you really expecting me, out of all people, to make an alcohol joke? Absolutely not. Just like me, alcohol ruins millions of lives. Wait. The young Luma transforms into a comet capable of returning to Rosalina's home planet, symbolizing her mother's enduring presence, whatever the heck that means. Rosalina adopts the Lumas as her family and builds the Comet Observatory, vowing to visit her home planet every 100 years. With the way American Airlines is going, good luck. So with that, we jump into one of our first levels, Good Egg Galaxy, and wow, this is amazing. I know I've spoken about how good Mario Galaxy is and how it does everything right, but this is just another reason why I believe that. Good Egg Galaxy, in my eyes, is one of the perfect beginning levels in the game. Dare I say it, this level is on par with 1-1 in the original Super Mario Bros. The cinematic level of music, the awesome show-off of sphere walking mechanics that was shown off in Mario 128, it's all done perfectly. A big thing I need to mention is that you don't stay on one planet for too long. No, sir, no. Instead, you use these things called sling stars to shoot you from one planet to another. Man, I couldn't imagine the jet lag on that thing. I wonder how Jacob's doing. I just sent him out to Little Caesars. What? Here is it! And so with that, we're brought to our first boss fight, the Dino Piranha. You essentially have to smack his tail, which goes flying back at him, breaking his eggshell. You can't tell me the guys at Nintendo had a strayed mind when they were coming up with this stuff. Dude, trust me, it's gonna be the greatest idea you've ever seen. Here, give me that paper flute. Dude, I got an idea! After defeating the dino, you're rewarded with your first Power Star. Mario takes the star back to the observatory, and from there you keep going back into levels to get more stars, so you can then in turn power the observatory even more, because dang it, these Lumas are needy! There's about 120 stars in the game, yet somehow it always seems like there's just something I'm missing, so I can move on to the next level. In fact, there's a lot of things that I'm missing. For example, the loving care you have for people that hurt you so irreversibly bad that you lash out in anger, hoping and praying that the world doesn't despise you, yet secretly wishing for the end of mankind simultaneously. Jacob, I was talking about B. Mario. Oh yeah, I knew that. Silly me. You know who you are. The power-ups. Oh my goodness. These are the most insane, wacky, out-of-this-world things I've ever seen. And I love them. The spring mushroom, rock mushroom, boo mushroom, bee mushroom, all of these show off what the game is and what it could be. And I'm telling you, I've had so many fond memories of messing around with these things, and it just made the game so much more enjoyable. However, I do have one gripe. Where were you? Like, yeah, the fire flower was in the game, but not only was it a timed power-up, you could only use it in like 2 places. The fire flower, at least in my eyes, is one of Mario's most defining features, but to strip that quality away from him just makes it hard to explain to a boardroom. So, it's a game about a middle-aged Italian plumber that's traveling through space and time to defeat this giant turtle with spikes on his back so he can then save a 16-year-old princess in order to get some cake. I'm taking offers. Speaking of Bowser, wait, we were talking about Bowser. Speaking of Bowser, let's talk about that guy. So Bowser has always been known to us as this villainous yet comical evil. Think of something right out of a 90s Saturday morning cartoon. Yet in Mario Galaxy, they actually make this guy menacing and make him feel like a real threat, as if he could actually hurt you if he got the chance. This is a giant step up from Bowser's previous portrayal in Super Mario Sunshine, where he was given a human voice, actor, and dialogue for the first time. Now, yes, Bowser did have a speaking part in shows like the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario World, yet these were more so seen as random spin-offs, whereas this was an official Mario canon and made children everywhere plead to their parents for help. You can't tell me this didn't traumatize at least somebody from the 2000s.
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Now, it's important to note, this isn't everything the game has to offer. Far from it, really. Once you beat the game, you're rewarded with a second mission, if you will, Super Luigi Galaxy.
Super Luigi Galaxy!
Who wouldn't want this on their gravestone? Luigi Galaxy is essentially Mario Galaxy, but now you get a few different levels and Luigi's moveset is a little bit different. There's 121 stars compared to the first playthroughs of 120. If anything, this mode makes me think of New Super Luigi U, and honestly, I think they took a lot of inspiration from Super Luigi Galaxy just to make this thing happen. Personally, I like Luigi U far more than Mario U, but once again, that's just me. You can put the gun down whenever you see fit. But I wouldn't mind if you did it right now. There's a lot of discussion on which game is better in the lineup, that being Super Mario Galaxy or Mario Galaxy 2. In my personal opinion, it's hard to say because believe it or not, these two games are wildly different. For one, Mario Galaxy takes a very cinematic approach to the franchise, while Galaxy 2 doesn't take many things seriously, for lack of a better term, and plays everything off as a very silly and playful experience as we've seen Mario in the past and have grown to know him and the franchise as a whole. In my eyes, it really just depends on what your film preferences are. I don't mind the Wiggles movie, so I think I'm gonna go with Galaxy 1. I think a big reason why people like this game more is because it's very readily available. In 2020, as a part of Mario's 35th anniversary, the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection was released, having Super Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. Notice how Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't mentioned there? Those little! With Galaxy 1 being available at a moment's notice, I believe it definitely gave players a chance to take a closer look at the game instead of a defined opinion on it. That's the problem with Galaxy 2, since it wasn't ported to the Switch and not as many people own a Wii or a copy of Galaxy 2. Not too many people can go out on a whim and buy the game. They have to search for it and pay a hefty price from places like DK Oldies or eBay. If the game was released on the Switch, that would have made all the difference, but alas, here we are today. Wait a minute, this isn't about a sequel, get on with it! Now, even though Mario Galaxy 2 is only on the Wii, surprisingly, Mario Galaxy is on more platforms than you think. Of course, we've talked about the Wii, Wii U, and the Nintendo Switch, but there's two other systems that we need to talk about. First up, the Nvidia Shield. Nintendo has had a track record of two things, one being in a relationship with Nvidia, and the other being smuggling their games into China. And who knows, maybe one day they'll throw in an autographed copy of the Bible. This one's mine, though. Released on December 5th, 2017, Nvidia released the Shield in China to moderate success. At the time, China's video game market wasn't the biggest per se, but there still was an audience for it. Nintendo wasn't particularly new to this market per se, as back in the early 2000s, they did something similar to this with the Nintendo 64, the IQ player. When the Shield released, Nintendo decided to translate a few of their Wii games into Mandarin, upscale them to 1080p, and included some of the games like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Punch-Out, Twilight Princess, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and of course Mario Galaxy. What's funny is Mario Galaxy is the only upscaled game we ever got here in the States or Japan. So you're saying China has better versions of these games that Nintendo's been gatekeeping from us since 2007? It would appear so. Then give me your passport. Why? It's mine. We look similar, they'd never know. Who's they? Exactly. The other system Galaxy's been on, while not technically official, is still very impressive. I'm referring to the gateway drug into portable gaming, the Nintendo DS. So what, it's a mod of Mario 64 DS, anyone could do that. Actually, no, this is an original game built from the ground up with no previous game engine. Please keep talking before I die of amazement. Oh, I'm flatlining. Super Mario Galaxy DS has a bit of a troubled history. Originating from a hoax video uploaded by Pablo Belmont, Super Mario Galaxy DS really took on a life of its own when a group of indie developers banded together to create this gem of a game. However, after months and months of working on it, Nintendo stepped in and realized these guys were using their property and went, "Hello, I like money and lawsuits. Yippee!" Yeah, that didn't go over too well with the development crew, so they were forced to shut down production on the game. That didn't stop me from getting the file of the project before it was shut down because, wow, this is amazing. There's only a handful of levels that are actually finished, but the ones that are, oh my goodness, they look amazing. This truly shows that sometimes, just sometimes, fans can do a tad better than Nintendo. Who am I kidding? Fans always do better than Nintendo. And that was Super Mario Galaxy. A fun game, no doubt, but the culture surrounding the game really gives us the impact that this had on the gaming world. I wouldn't be against getting a third Galaxy game, or hey, even a sequel to Odyssey in this exact style, because Lord knows we need one. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get it. But don't count on it. Anyways, that's all we've got for you Retro Rewinders today. Stay safe, stay warm, stay watching, and stay retro. We'll catch you guys on the next level.